Hello everyone and welcome to the channel. I'm Emmanuel, I'm an airline pilot, and in today's video we are going to have a look at a major update for the iniBuilds A300. We're standing here in the freighter over in Houston and we're going to fly this one up north to Fort Worth Airport. Now that's going to be a quick 40-minute flight, but there is a lot of stuff to explore with that new update. In fact, it is too big to even tell you all the points of the entire changelog, so I'm just going to show them to you over on the screen over here, and we'll just quickly run over them so that you can have an idea. Also, those that post is going to be linked in the video description below so that you can have a direct look at it through the iniBuilds forums. Now, as you can see, the last update's been a little while ago, but they've done a great job working on new changes and fixes. So let's head straight into the cockpit and play around a little bit with the new systems and also have just fun flying this one, which still is one of my favorites of 2023. Alright, so here we are in the cockpit of our A300. We're going to start down on the iPad, and the first thing I noted is that my throttle calibration has apparently reset. So I'm moving my I'm moving my hardware thrust levers right now, but nothing happens, only from about 50% onwards. So first thing we probably have to do here is to go over to the calibration, and yeah, as you can see, that does look a little strange what we got over there. So set idle position, that's exactly where we are now. Set toga position, that's all the way to the maximum. Perfect. Throttle calibration safe. Reverse run axis, no. Personally, I'm not a big fan of that. So if I'm now moving my levers, then things are looking perfect now. Alright, very good. So that was my very first thing I noticed over here. Now the next one that's worth pointing out is in the My Flights menu, you not only can import your SimBrief data now, okay, gonna go into the settings in a moment, but you can also view your operational flight plan. But something that I do seem to notice here is that apparently it has actually lost all my settings that I previously had. So just gotta enter that stuff again. Maybe it's kept the Navigraph lock-in at least, with a little bit of hope. Okay, in any case, let's just go over the rest of it as well then. So IRS alignment time still real. Rudder controls tiller, yes please. Auto tiller disconnect, not actually sure what that does. Link instruments captain and FO. Default thrust reduction acceleration is going to be 1000. Weight units will use imperial since we're flying a US aircraft. Same for the altimeter units in inches. On-screen keyboard enable. Okay, let's go. Second page. Maintenance mode is obviously going to be realistic, but that's on already. So realistic autopilot disconnect, yes. Real door arming, I'll tell you what, yes, even though we're sitting in a freighter. Curved ND tracks, well, no, because the real airplane didn't have that. Okay, so apart from that, I do seem to remember that I had to put all my audio setting completely to the maximum, so that's what I'm going to do over here. Thank you very much. And that should be it for the settings. Okay, let's give the SimBrief import a second attempt then, and here we go indeed. Also, we've got the checklists up over here. But would be nice if we had a click and drag functionality. We still don't. On the charts we got that though with the latest update. And what's new as well, we can view our operational flight plan. Even though this does look a little interesting, like it doesn't seem to take the correct formatting of the flight plan over here. But okay, we'll just... it's a start, even though they probably still got to work a little bit on it. Alright, so that's pretty much all that we can have a look at for now. Okay, great. So I do suppose we'll just take the airplane flying eventually, and I do suppose we'll just take it flying, and when we're done with that, we'll did I just blow a slide? We'll explore the plane a little bit. Okay, I don't think I did. Great. Okay, so chocks in place, left stairs in place, and luggage. Yeah, let's talk about that as well, even though I'm not 100% sure where it wants to get luggage from, but okay, so be it. Alright, do think that's it for the setup down there, so let's go ahead now with the preliminary cockpit preparation before we head out for the walk around. Okay, batteries on, hydraulic panel check, wiper switches are off, gear lever down, slats flap handle are up and they do agree. Then reverse levers down, fuel levers cut off, weather radar off, external power. Do we have external available? Yes. Okay. So external is coming on. Then APU fire test. And the squib test, looking good. Okay, excellent. Tell you what, what's the weather over here? Okay, it's 13 degrees. We don't need an APU then. It's going to be fine without. Alright, cool. So we'll leave the APU off, then we can go ahead with the IRSs. It's going to be nav, nav, and nav. Right, ISDU is set, oxygen is actually on already, and then annunciator light test over here. Oh yeah, thanks, that is copied. Right, annunciator light test looking good, and the VHF radius will just make sure we got 22.8 on number 1, and we're listening to it as well. Alright, cool. So that's the preliminary cockpit preparation complete, then let's head out for the walkaround. Man, this airplane is a loud one. Well, here we are. Okay, so we'll just do the most important things here. So man, can't see anything. Okay, here we go. The pitot and statics are looking good. The AOA vane is looking good in terms of nose wheel. Wheel assembly is looking good, the wheels themselves are looking good, and so is the rest of the wheel. Okay, sensors looking good, everything is in place where it's supposed to be. Then we can move further forward. Alright, we've got good probes, the engine is looking good as well. Quick look below the engine as well to make sure that we are not going to accidentally fire off our engine cowling. Okay, should have turned the lights on before it went out. That would definitely have helped. Okay, then coming down to the main wheels, which are looking good down here as well. Quick look at the brake wear indicator pins, looking good. And I don't see any damage to any of the tires here, neither. Now that's still something we need to have a careful look at in the iniBuilds, because that damage can absolutely occur. Okay, and at the aft side of the wheels, everything's looking good as well. Right, no signs of bird strike anywhere, then we can move further aft. And the aft cargo compartment's looking good, so is the bulk. Everything's fine down here. Move around the stabilizer, APU outlet looking good as well, stabilizer looking good, and then we can move further forward again. So this is basically just repeating what we've done already. So quick look at the wheels, which are looking good, and the brake wear indicator pins are as well. Okay, great. So then look out at the wing, with everything being good over here. Okay, then we can move up to the front. The engine itself is looking good. The hatches are closed down here, or the latches. Okay, the engine intake's looking good, and the front of the plane is looking good as well. Alright, perfect. Then we can head straight back and return to the flight deck for our preparation. And here we are again. Okay, man. Things did turn a little bit louder over here. And my view kind of was stuck a little bit there. Okay, let's take a seat. That is better. Alright, that entire airplane is rather loud now. I tell you what, let's go into those settings. Okay, return to half the volume. In the past I needed to turn that fully up, but I have a feeling that that is fixed now. Well, let's just return everything to around about the middle position, and then that stuff should be good. Okay, cool, so let's continue our flight deck preparation then. We didn't actually start fueling yet, so let's just go for that first. Weight and balance. Why is everything in kilogram here? I did select pounds, didn't I? Let's see that again. Settings. Page 1. Yeah. Pounds. Kilos. No comment. Alright, we'll take the, I don't know. Give me custom cargo from SimBrief. That should be alright. Now, in terms of fuel, let's make a decision. So, if we view that flight plan, can't click and drag this. Neither I can scroll, so this is all I can do, which is rather nasty to do, but let's quickly find the weather. So destination Fort Worth is a little bit gusty, but apart from that good, and it's going to stay like that. Our alternate, Dallas Fort Worth, is as well. So yeah, we are good with the standard fuel basically. So that's like 1650 taxi plus 1500, so we end up with 1700, yeah. 18,000 pounds, that should be good. And maybe make that 20,000 because I'm not too familiar with the area. So 20,000 pounds. Okay, that should be fine. Apply load to aircraft. That symbol is new. Not 100% sure what it means though. Probably just loading in progress, does it? Or fueling in progress, for that matter. Yeah, look at that, it's defueling now. It's actually defueling. But okay, I tell you what, we wouldn't defuel the airplane in the real world, so why should we in the sim? Give me 41,000. That's gonna be a lot of fuel, but hey, we'll keep those 41,000 then. It's definitely going to be something new and interesting. Okay, so align IRS, weight cleared, nav accuracy downgraded. No. Okay, so we are going from K Houston to AFW. Don't have a route safe, that's fine, and align IRS. Okay, great. Then let's continue up here. So no smoking signs, definitely coming on. Fueling is finished, so the belts can come on. And the flight recorder ground control. So in terms of lights, strobes, nav logo. Okay, looking good. I'm just going over those systems quickly now. Fueling is complete, so the pumps can come on and everything looking good all the way up here. And then on the third line, window heat, probe heat, and the engine fire test. Which is looking good as well. Squib test, looking good as well. Cockpit door open, yeah, that's intentional. Okay, and on the last part, on the emergency exit lights. And that is it. Great. Okay then, over to the main panel. Let's see what QNH we got. So, latest weather from Houston is giving us 3032. Like that. Well, that's interesting. Didn't they... I'm not sure. Did the QNH show already on the right side before I clicked it for the first time? Review that stream and do have a look for me, please. I could swear it didn't show correctly, but what do I know? Okay then, so our destination is situated at 720 feet. Oh, that was a bit quick, maybe? Here we go, that's better. So, alternate brake system check. Oh well, with the chocks in place, I forgot that. With the chocks in place, the iniBuilds is always going to have the brake pressure applied, so yeah. Suppose we'll leave it at that. Okay. So, that is looking alright. Then I do suppose we can start with having a look at our FMS for the setup. So alternate is going to be over in Dallas. Cost index, did we actually have any? 89. Wow, FedEx must have money. But if that's what they want, then that's what they get. Okay, cruising flight level 320. And the flight ID is going to be FedEx 1105. Okay, cruise winds. Do we have anything down here? 277 at 30. That's gonna do. Not gonna be a very long cruise anyway, so that's not going to have much of an effect if it is just slightly off. Okay, so our set is going to be off runway 33, right? It is, and it is the Beltwee 7 towards Clyde. Insert, and from there... Oh, look at that, we enter the star directly from there. Runway 34 over at our destination. So ILS 34 right, and our arrival, I do believe it's the Recode 3, is it? Yeah, Recode 3 off Clyde. Great. Okay then, let's have a look into the plan mode and see what we got. That looks about right. Perfect. Okay, secondary, we'll just make it a copy of the active, and then... Well, I'll tell you what, no we don't. Clear secondary. Secondary flight plan cleared, thank you. We are going to make this an immediate return. So Houston to Houston. So 33 right up there. And no sit, thank you. And then, let's just have another look into the weather. It's 340 at 14, so runway 26 should be favorable for the landing. Okay, so let's make it an ILS onto 26 left. Oh, wait a moment. ILS 26 left, no star, insert. GPS primary. Great, so the IRS alignment is complete. That means we can put on the pitch trim. Okay, perfect. So immediate return is pre-programmed. In that case, let's go ahead with the init page. So we do have 41,000 pounds of fuel. Zero fuel weight, let's see, view OFP, forecast at 243.9. Enough accuracy upgraded, thank you. So 243.9. And that's a takeoff weight, 284.0, that looks okay to me. Alright, we don't know any CG yet, so we'll just enter 25 as default number. Optimum 345, maximum 370, cruise 320. Looking good. And 3 hours of extra fuel. Yeah, well, I'm happy with that. Better to have the fuel than to need the fuel, that's for sure. Okay, so performance, let's go for it. Synchronize, update the runway, towards 33 right. Dry runway, and all of that is looking good. Air conditioning on, anti-ice off, okay. Calculate. So, 153, 163, 163. Fine. 153, 163, and... that was a little bit quick. Here we go, 163. Perfect. And the green dot speed, let's see. What do we have? 214. Preset 214. Perfect. Alright, so that is our initial stuff done over there. Then let's go to the Navigraph charts. Oh wow, it really reset everything, it seems. Well, then we just gotta say hello over in Navigraph again as well. That's a little bit annoying. But so be it. Okay, thank you. Log on, please. Navigraph account linked. Here we are. Okay, so let's see. Houston Airport. Standard taxi routes. We won't need that. It's gonna be a fairly easy taxi. So we are basically over here, and we'll just go southbound via Whiskey Alpha, and then full length for the departure. We might actually take Whiskey Bravo over here. Now, a couple of things that are new over here. On previous versions, you always needed to use the arrow keys up here in order to move your chart. You no longer need to. Also, you got a night mode available now, which is quite handy as well. You still need to zoom using the using those keys up there, and you can also quickly return the chart to the default, it seems. So that stuff is definitely new. Also, what happens if we go over here? Okay, a couple of panel states, brightness, lock, no, that's fine. Okay, cool. So that is certainly new. Now, for the departure, let's see. Have a cried departure, did we? Oh, Bulkwe 7, okay. So let's see. Bulkwe 7 on off departure, here it is. Perfect. Chart pinned. Okay, great. So that's our pinned charts now. So... off the runway 32, it's on the runway track 329, or rather on the heading 329. Here we go. Top altitude 16,000, I love it. Okay, and that is set. Perfect. Alrighty, I do think that's it. Do we need to do anything else? Mode, looking good. Okay. And progress is looking good as well. Perfect. Okay, I'm happy with that. Alright, great. So we're done with the FMS setup. We are done with, well, pretty much anything. We did check our route previously already. So I'd say let's continue with our departure briefing. Okay, FO's pilot monitoring, so it's your turn. Okay, Houston, 33 right, Bulkwe 7 departure, climb to 16,000. MSA is something about 4,000, and extra fuel and time, well, more than 3 hours. Yep, no hotspots for the planned taxi, it's going to be a fairly simple one. Stop margin for rejected takeoff is going to be plenty. I don't think it's calculating how much it actually is. No, it isn't. Okay, so stop margin is unknown, EO sit straight at, and climbing to 4000 should keep us safe, but let's just have a very quick look in here. Yeah, MSA 3-1, so 4000 is going to keep us safe. Immediate return, Houston is our best option. Now, how's our weights looking? Takeoff weight 285.3, and max landing weight 308. Okay, perfect, so we are below the max landing weight already. Special or non-standard ops, don't really have any. Okay, what threats do you see for the departure? Well, my only threat is that we are basically flying an airplane that just came out of maintenance, where we are not 100% sure of what to expect from it. It's first flight with the new update, so we'll just have to let them surprise us with whatever they've got in account for us. Yep, fully agree. Another threat is, in case anything happens, I don't have any QRH or anything the likes here, so we'll just have to, yeah, find our own way around it. Okay. Questions? No? Okay. Then we can do the before start checks down to the line. Cockpit prep completed, signs on auto. Well, here we go, on auto. Fuel quantity, 41,000 pounds. Balanced. Okay, navigation checked set, landing elevation 700 set, altimeters 3032, reading 120, set 3 times. Brake anti-skid, normal on, before start checks complete down to the line. Okay, so very quick check that we forgot to do in the beginning. Engine, oil, quantity, it's looking good. 20, hydraulic quantity, it's all full as well. And finally the APU, oil quantity is full as well. And look at that, it reset the event counter. We had like 20 APU starts already on the plane. So it looks like they reset that. But okay, so be it. Alright. Then, APU start is a good point here, so let's go ahead with the APU. Start, please. Okay, let's see then. If we go into the ground equipment, remove the stairs. Let's see, the parking brakes are set, so toggle shocks. And toggle luggage. They can also start closing the doors downstairs. Well then, let's just go to the back here. Can we manually close the door? No, okay. So if you're wondering how to close this one, you press that black button which is the gust lock, and then you can just pull it closed. But okay, looks like we have to do that from the EFB. And my view is stuck here again. Just like it was last time. Okay. Back to the cockpit, let's try that one more time. Okay, close the main cargoes. Here we go. Perfect. Okay, and looks like we need to close the main door from the EFB then. Which is a little bit surprising, to be honest. I mean, it doesn't make too much sense that you can operate the cargo door, but not the main entrance door, does it? Okay, so let's close that as well. Door is closed. Let's just go to the back one more time, because I want to see if we can perhaps arm the slides manually now. There was some information in there, but no, okay. Because there was something in the changelog regarding slides, but looks like that is not relevant for us. Okay. At least not for now. Okay. Cool, in that case we'll just go over here, arm all doors. Perfect, doors are armed. Then we're good to go. Okay, so final weight and balance. Zero fuel weight, 145.4. Sorry, 245.4. So we're a little bit heavier now. That's 1,500 pounds heavier. Okay, and the zero fuel CG is now 29.3. Okay, perfect. So, yeah, we'll just quickly recalculate the takeoff performance just for the sake of it. Okay, performance, yeah, hit sync, calculate. So 153, 163, 163, that's 31.8, trim 0.2 down, and 63 degrees flex. Alright, so flex. .63 and then 0.2 down on the trim. Like that. Okay, and the rest is good. Alright, very good. Then we can just keep this. Go back over to the charts, airport info chart. Zoom in for a bit. Okay, that's what we need. Excellent. Well done, GSX. Continue pushback, nose right. Stand by. Okay. Transponder on. Beacon on. APU is running. External power off. Bleed air on. GPU is gone. Before start checklist below the line. Windows and doors. Closed. Beacon on. Park and brake set. Before start checklist complete. Ground from cockpit. Go ahead. Please confirm all doors and hatches closed. Ground curtain removed and bypass pin is installed. Yes sir, that's all confirmed. Pre-flight checks are completed and we're clear to push. Roger that. Pushback is approved. Facing west. Parking brake released. Roger. Okay. So, both sides are clear, and we are pushing. Nice little cargo ramp as well, isn't it? FS Dream Team did an awesome job with Houston Airport. That cargo ramp is looking really good. And that's really not something you can expect on every airport. Like many flight sim airports have a very good focus on the passenger area of things, but once it comes to the cargo area, they really seem to neglect things like the textures, like detail, standing around. Now, that is somewhat understandable because you've got a lot of flight simmers who basically don't care about cargo, but just about passengers, and obviously it all comes down to performance in the end, but hey, it's still nice to have this stuff. Alright then. Engine. I don't remember which one do you start first in the A300. Number 2. Okay, engine 2 start. N2. All pressure. N1. Set parking brakes. Parking brake set. I still love those sounds. Ini did a really good job there, and there was a lot of stuff on the changelog about the sounds getting updated as well. Okay, good start 2, starting 1. If we just want to have a look at that changelog again, and just look at all those fixes to the sounds down there, that is really quite amazing what work they put into that. Overall, it's amazing how much of an update this really is. That is really a lot of stuff in the changelog there. Okay. Let's not forget our engine start though. Ground cockpit, go ahead. Okay, so we've got 2 good starts. You're clear to disconnect, clear sign on the left side with a pin, and have a good day. Bye-bye. See here? Yes, yes. Excellent. Alrighty. So, ignition, APU bleed, APU master. Don't need any anti-ice for the departure. Okay. So, hand signal is received after start checklist. Pitch trim, 0.2 down set. Rudder trim, 0. Spoilers, arms, slats, flaps, 15, 15. Ecam status, checked. Anti-ice, off. Hand signal received after start checklist complete. Clear left side, clear right side. And flight control check. Full up, full down, neutral, full left, full right, neutral, rudder, full left, full right, neutral. Okay then, request taxi please. So, we gotta be a little bit careful with the nose wheel steering now, because there used to be some problems with it back in the day when the plane first came out. Okay, brake check, pressure 0. Let's do a slide steering check here. Okay, left, right. That works. That works. Okay, excellent. So, out to the left, onto the first taxiway, and then we'll just parallel the runway all the way down, and then we're at the holding point already. It's a wide body, so we do need to use the oversteering technique. You can see we ended up pretty much on the center line here. Okay, right side is clear. Left side is clear. Let's turn first left and then we go all the way to the end. So speed is good, 7 knots. Alright. So, reviewing the takeoff briefing, speeds 53, 63, 63 with a flex temperature of 63 as well, which is selected. Our SID is taking us straight ahead on the runway heading, and we are going to use heading mode for that. Now, in terms of the VNAV profile, I do suppose we can on profile mode up here. So P-climb blue. And that is mostly it indeed. Let's see, can I think of anything else? Not really, yeah? In case of engine failure, straight ahead 25 miles, climbing 4,000, MSA 3,100. First cleared altitude here is 16,000, so it's going to be a lengthy climb out. Okay, that's it. that's the wrong button. That's the one I'm looking for. Config test normal. Excellent. Before takeoff, checklist down to the line. Flight controls, checked. Briefing, confirmed. Slats, flaps, 15, 15. Performance and FMAs. So we got 153, 163, 163. And flex, also 63. Takeoff config, checked. Transponder, set. Before takeoff checklist complete down to the line. That A300 just looks completely awesome, doesn't it? Now, that's not just because it looks similar to an A330, but I actually do like the airplane. I actually do like it. And I mean, this is really one that made history. Beautiful. Just beautiful. Okay. So, I do think we are mostly done up here. Anything that we've forgotten? Anything we can think of? No. Nothing. I do have to say, occasionally it is rather difficult when you're flying so many different airplane types here in the simulator to actually keep track of how all those procedures in all those separate aircraft are working. Like, for example, I'm recording this flight just after I've recorded the one with the MD-80 in Hawaii. That is probably going to be released actually after this video, so the sequence in which I record things does not always necessarily correspond to the sequence in which I release videos. But, you know, I just had to remember MD-80 procedures. Now I'm using A300 procedures, and on the next video I'm probably going to use ATR procedures, because there's been a recent update to the ATR as well. So, yeah, keeping track of all those things isn't all that easy. Luckily in the real world you just fly one type. You may be type rated for 2, but you mostly fly 1, so that really makes your life a lot easier. Okay, transponder coming on. And Tiga's going to above. So we don't have any cabin crew that we could tell to prepare for the departure, so I do suppose that's pretty much it. Clear left side, clear right side. Before takeoff checklist below the line. Cabin secure, TCAS, Tara, packs 1 and 2, on, ignition, off, and anti-ice is off as well. Before takeoff checklist complete. Are you ready? Takeoff. Stabilized. Set takeoff thrust. Thrust set. 100 knots. Checked. V1. Rotate. Positive climb. Gear up. Okay, we're in heading. Speed, out blue. Okay. Flaps 0. Slats 0. Left and right, heading 340. And select profile. Doesn't work? Okay, level change it is. What have I done now? Okay, thrust, speed. That is okay. And 250. Okay, let's go direct to Dreamer. Direct Dreamer. Okay, insert. Nav available. Nav profile. Man, that's quite an aggressive bank angle for those few degrees of a turn there that the flight director commands. But this is looking good. Okay then. Tell you what, it's flying pretty well after takeoff climb checklist. Slats, flaps, retracted, landing gear, up, neutral, packs, on, and holding at altimeters. After takeoff climb checklist, almost completed. Okay, so just doing a little bit of hand flying here because, well, I do like it. And just look at that rate of climb. It's quite awesome what this airplane can achieve. Obviously, though, there were a couple people under my previous A300 videos who said, like, nah, the A300 shouldn't climb that quickly and so on. And if you've got any evidence of that, then please do put it underneath the video. However, we need to keep in mind we're basically flying a heavy aircraft here that is loaded at a pretty light weight. Remember, the A300 is designed for much longer routes, so we are technically flying it at a very light weight, and well, therefore we get very good rates of climb. Like if you load the airplane all the way up to the max takeoff weight and then you still climb at 4,000 feet a minute, that may be something that I would question. But at the weights at which we are typically flying it, I would say we are totally fine climbing at 4,000 feet a minute. That's my personal opinion there. Okay, so likewise, I do get quite a couple of questions like how long do you typically fly manually before you engage the autopilot? I do get those questions both on the channel as well as in the real world. Just recently, a cabin crew of ours brought her boyfriend to one of the flights, and en route I did have a little chat with him over in the front galley, and he asked amongst others, like, okay, so how long do you actually manually fly the aircraft without using the autopilot? And I told him, like, yeah, typically until like 15,000 feet or something the likes. And, well, that is actually what I do. Now, there is definitely pilots who, you know, engage the autopilot as early as they can. Now, technically speaking, you can engage it at about 50 feet on the climb out. You need 5 seconds after liftoff, which is where you're allowed to engage it, and Airbus themselves do say that typically that is achieved like when passing 50 feet in the climb. So that is when you can turn the autopilot on Airbus aircraft. On the modern ones at least, I'm not sure about the A300, but it's probably going to be similar. And, well, obviously, if you do that, then you aren't going to get a lot of manual flight experience. And personally, I do still think that even though I'm flying a computer now with the A330, I do still think that that manual hands-on flying experience is important, because ultimately there is going to be a point eventually where you'll need it. But hey, that's the good thing. As long as the conditions are nice, you know, nobody's going to prevent you from doing it. I've barely come across any captains who were like, no, I don't want you to fly manually, put that autopilot on now, in good conditions. And obviously good conditions at this point includes that you don't have too much traffic, that it's not too busy on the radio, and stuff like that. Okay, so let's climb a little bit higher. Let's set our cruising altitude 32,000, and that's 32,000 blue. Okay, so 15,000 feet, the airplane flies completely perfectly. Not a lot that we need to do on the controls now, so we might as well just go Command 1. And at this point, yes, it is somewhat satisfying in the simulator when you turn on that autopilot switch and the plane doesn't show any reaction. In other words, you've flown it perfectly previously. That's quite nice, isn't it? Alright, so I didn't do the flow at 10,000 feet, but since we're in the US over here, we gotta keep those landing lights until 18,000 anyway, so for that reason I'm just delaying the rest of the flow as well. It's nothing we can miss over here. You know, if there is stuff that we missed, like the packs still being off and stuff like that, the Airbus would alert us to it. For that reason, on the more modern Airbuses, like the 320, 330, 350 and so on, there isn't even an after takeoff checklist anymore. Okay, set standard. Standard cross-check passing flight level 181 now. Checked. Then we can do the rest of the flow as well. Lights coming off, seatbelts coming off. It's not like we'd have any passengers anyway. But remember, you can always carry supernumeraries. Okay. So, and listening to 121.5. Excellent, that's it. Alrighty, on the climb out. So what's my first impression of flying that new iniBuilds update? Well, as I mentioned, this is the very first flight that I'm actually doing with it. So what you're getting is literally my very first impression with it. And, well, I didn't have too many problems with the airplane previously. So the main things that do seem new to me with this update right now is that we got a lot easier handling of the Navigraph charts up here. Like, we can drag them around where previously we had to use the buttons up here. We've got things like the night mode, which is going to be really handy. So we've seen great enhancement in here, and then also in the my flight app down here, where we can now show the operational flight plan. Now, things do seem to be jerking around a little bit, like the formatting of the plan over here. But it is worth pointing out over here that I have seen similar jerking of the flight plan formatting over the past couple of weeks and months with other tablets as well. So it might just be a coincidence that SimBrief has messed something up over here for this very flight, because it didn't do it on the previous flight. On the previous one that I recorded with the MD-80, everything's been perfectly fine. So it might just be a bad coincidence that I'm running into this while I'm flying the A300 now, because I have seen something similar on another developer's EFB, but it might of course also just be something wrong with the A300. In either case, I'm going to submit that one to iniBuilds and we'll see what they say about it, and then we'll have to see. But do let me know in the comments below whether you have encountered anything like this previously. So if your A300 EFB is showing the flight plan like this as well, then do let me know in the comments, because it would certainly interest me if this is a one-off, because in that case I wouldn't really have to contact iniBuilds either. In that case it would probably more be something for Navigraph, because, well, something with the formatting of the flight plan itself might be off. But in order to find out, do put it in the comments below, and then we'll see about it. Apart from that, one major change that just comes to my mind, actually, is that the sounds have been dramatically increased in volume. So on previous versions of the A300 I always had to put the sounds all the way to the maximum. When I did that on our EFB setup earlier on, things really became really loud. I do apologize if it might have been a little bit hard to actually understand me previously while I had the sounds turned up that much, because generally I do use the same sound settings and the same recordings for my entire flights, but we'll probably just have to see about it and see what we're going to end up with. But in general, I do think, now that I've turned my sound settings back into the middle, again, something in the EFB, so talk about the EFB being the primary thing that I'm personally seeing updated here, but now that everything's basically set back to the middle position, the sounds are going really well. Now, one thing that's left over here in terms of the charts that I couldn't find was an en route chart. So I'm not sure if I can actually access it somehow, but most certainly when we are cruising along in the A330, then we always have the en route chart open, because you never know what you might experience, and most certainly the information given to you on the nav display is by far not as comprehensive as the information given to you on the en route chart. So we always have that one open. Would be really nice. Navigraph has some very good en route charts from Jefferson, so why not provide it? But I really don't know what's going on many developers' minds with these things, because other developers also didn't provide those en route charts. Probably it's just flight simmers don't care. I mean, let's face it, many flight simmers are simply looking for charts in order to get the minimums and their taxi route, and that's it. And maybe the initial climb altitude, but that's already just a maybe. So, yeah, who knows? But in any case, we are approaching Cride already, so that means we're already entering the area of our star. So let's get rid of those charts, and we'll go over to the arrival here, and we do have the, what's it again, which star did we select? Let's have a look. Yeah, Rico 3 on-off arrival, here it is. So we've got to pin that one, and then for the approaches itself, the weather is still pretty similar to what it was, so ILS 34 is going to be it. Then we need an airport chart, and probably don't even have a taxi chart, do we? Have a look at that. Nope. I mean, it's basically just cargo, so Amazon Air over here, FedEx over here, GDC over here, so yeah, you get it. Landing 34 right, coming off, probably Golfer Hotel, and then we're basically straight at the FedEx ramp. Okay, so that's basically the charts we need. The Rico 3 arrival, quick look down here, entering it at Cride, and then first dodgy Rico, and I don't want to pronounce that, and then to Scops. And then you can see the huge amount of airports in the area of Dallas. So the one we're looking for is up here, Fort Worth Alliance Airport. So after Scops, it's going to be radar vectors from air traffic control, basically vectoring us around all those inbounds to the big airports over here, like Dallas Fort Worth, there's Dallas Love Field, but we're just going to Fort Worth Alliance Airport over here, so they'll probably vector us around somewhere. And what I can tell so far is that when looking at the track of the flight on Flight Radar, they basically got down low really early, and then they just took them at low altitude all the way in. So that's probably what we're going to do as well. Now, let's have a quick look into our nav display if we've got a top of descent somewhere. Yeah, here it is, just 60 miles out. So it's literally going to be a very short cruise. Alright, nonetheless, let's quickly fly it all the way up to cruise level, and we might just take a small moment to have a look over the changelog one more time, so that we can just check if there is anything pretty that we just want to check out before we start our approach preparation. So, quick look into the changelog once more. A couple of things about shadows and stuff like that, honestly, not too bothered with that stuff. Fixed beacon light position, that sounds interesting. Well, let's just quickly go to the outside to see where the beacon light actually is. Got one in the middle over there, which looks fine to me. And one in the back down here. The effects are located correctly, so that does seem alright to me. Well, back inside then, we're approaching 1,000 to go. Vertical speeds. And Mach 0.8 looking alright. 1,000 to go. Okay, so another look into the changelog real quick. System changes. Oh yeah, that is something. or a couple of things actually, that we can check. So this one over here, optimum and maximum flight level should be based on weights entered in the FMC, but not the actual weights manipulated by the EFB. And there was one based on one of my previous videos as well. Let me see if I can find it. In regards to the spoilers, remember when I did my system check video? If you haven't seen it, I can really recommend it. I'm really going deep into the systems. And here we go. Ecam shows wrong spoilers are faulty when turning off the blue hydraulic system. So that is something that we can absolutely have a look at. So let's quickly level off. Speed alt star. Back in the profile then. Okay, so blue hydraulic system. Engine pump off. Okay, hydraulic, blue pump off. Blue system low pressure. So what do we have now? We lost the spoilers number 7 and the numbers 4 and 1. Now I do believe in order to actually see those Ecam messages, we need to kill the green system as well. Let's do that. Okay, hydraulic. Blue and green hydraulic system low pressure. Autopilot's cut off. Land A's have been red, but it doesn't show us any... Okay. Tell you what. I would have expected some Ecam actions now. Not sure why we didn't get any. We just got the warning, but we didn't get... Well, doesn't matter. Okay, so profile, nav. I want some flight directors, please. Where are they gone now? Oh, here they are. Okay. Pitch trim, yaw damper, and that's returning our flight directors. Perfect. Okay. Autopilot's back on. Command 1. Getting back to the route, looking alright. Well, that much about it. Anyway, I don't really care. If they say they fixed it, then probably we do another system check flight at some point, and then we can have a look at that stuff. The other one that I quickly want to check is the optimum altitudes down in the FMS. So if we go into the progress page, we can see right now we are showing an... Let's see it over here. We're showing optimum 350, cruise 320. So what happens if we just go to the fuel prediction page now and change some of our weights? So let's say I want a 0 fuel weight. Can we actually change that anywhere here? In the newer Airbuses you can. Maybe, can you access the iniB page? No. Okay, we probably can't change the weight then, so unfortunate that we cannot actually check that. But okay, so be it. We'll have to be able to live with that. So in the meantime, perhaps we just go ahead and check everything over here. So 110.15. Here we go, on a course of 346. Minimum 881, and that is indeed the only one for the ILS. Okay. No, not that one. You go back to standard. But that's the one I want to move. Here we go, 881. And I tell you what, let's go ahead and start the descent. They did it pretty early in the real one as well, so 20,000 down on level change. There is something more that we do want to observe, according to the changelog. That is, when we're passing through 25,400 feet in level change mode, the airplane should automatically transition from Mach number to indicated airspeed. Let's see if that's going to work. Okay, and the last thing here, can we do landing performance now? No. Okay, that's a pity. In that case, we gotta cheat a bit. If we go for this, we got 11,000 foot of runway, so I tell you what, auto brake low is going to do. Okay, let's not descend too quickly here. Something like 0.79 should be more than sufficient. 5 degrees nose down is already the maximum we want. Okay. So TCAS can go on to below, and then I'd say let's go ahead with the approach briefing, and we'll have an eye on the speed window as we go along. Alright, pilot monitoring, it's your turn. Actually, just gotta have a look here that we don't actually overspeed it, but we are just 1,000 feet from the target anyway now. So 24.5, that's where things get interesting. But it looks like it might be flying itself into the overspeed prior to that. Okay. And it's actually changed over. Great. Alright, though I am going to reduce the speed now. 320 needs to be sufficient. Okay, now we can start with the briefing. Okay, so we've got an MSA of 3,600, the highest, and we are following the, what's it called, Rico 5 arrival for an ILS runway 34 right. The minimum is 881 feet, and go around trajectory, if we just have a look at what we've got down here in the FMS, then it's basically 1,200 feet, then intercept the track towards Oblon, climb to 3,000 and pick up the hold over there. Okay, extra fuel and time is more than enough. 2 hours and 42 minutes because they, well, pre-fueled the airplane quite excessively on the ground. Okay, it's going to be a localizer and glide slope guidance for the approach with a landing flap setting of 30 and 40, and we are, yeah, we have plenty of stop margin with that. So, approaching, vertical speed. So we've got plenty of stop margin, runway exit to the right, and hotspots for taxiing, I don't have any. Special or non-standard operation, nothing that I can think of. So what threats do you see for the arrival? Well, my main threat is that we haven't flown this airplane in a while, so same thing as for the departure. Procedures, coupled with the fact that we haven't flown the particular maintenance state of the plane that we actually have right now. So, well, things might be looking, let's just call it, different than what we are used to from flying this airplane at earlier points in time. Apart from that, don't see any threats. I fully agree with you. How are we going to compensate for that? Well, basically we follow the SOPs, we try to take things slow, and we just don't rush the arrival. Happy with that? Yep. Okay, briefing is complete. So next up is going to be the approach checklist. Let's continue our descent, looking for 10,000 feet, level change, and speed 300. Interesting how the plane is first pitching down and then probably gonna, yeah, here we go, pitch back up. Well, no comment on that. What's a QNH? 3051, 1 degree, wind from 020 at 14, gust 23, so that's like 40 degrees off the runway, so well, gonna be something like 20 knots crosswind component gusty, but that's alright. Set altimeter 3051. on cross-check, passing 19,400 now. Checked. Interesting when you look at the engines. When I just looked at them, it looked like, you know, we had a rather high idle thrust value, but yeah, then I remembered, oh yeah, we're still in 18,000. So that's probably quite alright to actually have that value. Alright, going through 18,000. Signs on, lights on, constraints selected anyway. Oh, what did I just do now? Okay. Something I could reverse. Well, that's all I can ask for. Okay. It wasn't me. I didn't touch anything. Okay. So, GPS primary we got. Awesome. Flaps 30, 40, 133. Well, we're gonna use wind correction here of 10 knots. So 143 approach speed is good. Excellent. Okay, after scups we gotta continue on the radar heading. As you can see over here. Heading. So got like 20 miles to the point where the ILS starts. Overall, maybe 30 miles to fly if we would make a right-hand turn straight away, but we'll do what the real flight did as well, that was flying straight ahead for a little bit, and only then eventually making the turn to the right. However, nonetheless, I do have a feeling we'll need a little bit of speed brake over here in order to get down. It's quite interesting. We started our descent prior to the topper descent programmed by the FMS. We do have quite a bit of headwind, which we did not enter, so our actual flight profile should have been quite a bit steeper than the expected or the planned one. And nonetheless, we're ending up basically in a little high scenario. That's interesting. Okay then, right turn heading 360. Here we go. Okay, speed brake going back in. Speed back to 50. $1,000 to go. Checked. I'm still stunned just by looking at the scenery. You know, Microsoft Flight Simulator is looking so awesome. It's really looking so awesome. It's even looking better than the real world, I gotta say. Because in the real world, it's usually a little bit misty and you barely see the ground as nicely as you do in the sim. So, okay, descend of 3,000. Latest altimeter still 3051. So let's see once we're established on the speed what the airplane's going to tell us, but I'm fairly sure we are going to need some speed brakes again. So let's see, on the ILS itself, we intercept in 2400 at Irpi. So Irpi is like 25 miles now, 2400 means we need to descend roughly 7,500 feet, so that's 21 miles to lose our altitude, and then a couple of miles to lose the speed. Yeah, we should be more or less good. Okay, let's proceed direct UCOL, and from there we'll intercept the ILS. UCOL direct nav. Look at that, all of a sudden we're above the VNAV profile. Let's see by how much. 2,500 feet. Yeah, that does sound reasonable. Okay, bit of speed brake here. That's what I really like about the Airbuses. In the Boeing, the speed brake was always like, yeah, here you go with a nice massage. And the Airbus is actually doing something. Alright, approach checklist please. Signs. Set, briefing confirmed, ecam status checked, altimeters 3051 cross-checked, minimums 881, ignition off, landing elevation 700 set. Approach checklist complete. So I do suppose that's Fort Worth down there? But don't quote me on it. If you know the area better than I do, then please be invited to post the correction. But I do believe it is Fort Worth. And on the other side then, we should have Dallas somewhere. Not all too far away. Well, typical US cities over here, by the way. Just look at how everything is completely planned. Everything is straight. There is mostly just right angles over there. That's the US. That is the US. Okay, 18 miles out, 5,000 feet. Still a little bit fast, but that's okay. Didn't I actually brief that we wanted to be a little bit conservative on the approach? Tell you what. Full speed brake, but at the same point let's slow down to 20. Block blue. Cleared LS, 3-4 right. Glide slope's alive. Okay, and with that glide slope, block stop, I think we're good to go without the speed requirements. So down to green dot. We have 16 miles to run. And I do believe that that's the point where we're going to do this. And this. Okay, slats 15. Speed checked. Slats 15. So that glide slope does look believable. Glide slope blue, cat 1. We already start feeling a couple of those gusts. That's going to be an interesting approach, that's for sure. Hold start. Hold. Okay, glide slope is coming in. Flaps 15. Speed checked. Flaps 15. So final approach is going to be 143, and that includes the gust correction. Gear down. Glide slope start. Go around altitude 3000 set. Glide slope. Flaps 20. Speed check, flaps 20. Flaps 40. Speed check, flaps 40. Landing checklist. Landing gear. Down. Auto brake. Low. Anti-skid. Checked on norm. Slats flaps. 30-40. Spoilers. Armed. Landing checklist complete. So, something I do believe is new with the update as well here, is that the auto brakes no longer disarm. I do seem to remember they did on earlier versions. When you extended the landing gear or something the likes. Don't quote me exactly when it happened, but I do seem to remember that we did need to reselect them on the approach. Alright, so, something I do like about the default viewpoint of the A300 here is that you can see my control column in the middle of the screen down there. So you can actually see what kind of inputs I'm doing in order to fly the airplane down over here. Because, you know, there are flight simulators who just do this all the time, which as you can see makes exactly no difference to our airplane's trajectory at all. So, over here you can see, like, smooth, deliberate inputs really get the airplane down nicely. Okay, land. Even with the gusts, you can see it's a pretty stable platform, that airplane. Not changing the thrust, minimum, continue. Basically, just keeping everything exactly as it is. Okay, thrust idle, flare, don't over flare, and we're down. Okay, spoiler reverse green, and I do suppose we've got a decel as well. 70 knots, manual brakes. Stowing the reverses, and here we are. Welcome back to Fort Worth. Sorry, not welcome back, but welcome to Fort Worth Alliance. Now, do tell me if you know, is this an exclusive cargo airport? Because I couldn't find anything. I really couldn't find anything pointing to any sort of passenger operation here. Because I do believe this would be the very first cargo-only airport that I would know of. Okay, runway vacated. We'll taxi straight ahead to the FedEx ramp. And while we do that, let's go ahead and do a little bit of housekeeping. Let's see what I missed. After landing checklist. Slat flaps are more or less retracted. Transponder off, weather radar off, spoilers. That's something I missed. Okay, spoilers disarmed and APU started after landing checklist complete. That's a little bit fast here. our APU doing? Starting. Okay. APU avail. Great. Okay, there's one of ours. We're probably going to park in front of the building right over here. Well, then let's do single engine taxi. Electric hydraulic pump on, engine 2 off. We're probably rather heavy, but I just want to do it. Okay, air, pack 2 fault. Pack 2 mode man cold. Nah, we ain't gonna do any of that. Clear air. Clear air. That's better. Now I know what I found wrong. That just... something looked strange to me on that light panel, but I just couldn't tell what it was. Now we know. Okay then. Lights going off. Entering the stand. Hard to see anything. Here we go. Again, would be nice to have a marshaller here, but I've got absolutely no clue how that gate is named since we didn't have a parking chart, so any playing around with GSX would have been good guesswork here. Okay, we made it. Bleed on. Engines off. I suppose we can't say cabin crew all doors and park in here, so we'll just have to do it ourselves in a few moments. Passing 20%. Okay, parking checklist. APU bleed, on, engines, off, differential pressure, 0, lights and signs, off, fuel pumps, off, window and probe heat, off, park and brake and trucks, that's the park and brake set. Parking checklist complete. Okay, ground cockpit, go ahead, hi there, the airplane's in a good condition, and confirm the trucks are in. Yes sir, trucks are in. Roger, stand by for the doors. Okay, 1 degree. I'm going to keep the APU running here, even though external power is available. So let's go ahead and open that door. So the slide is in the armed position. I just wish there was a click spot here, so that we could disarm the slide manually, instead of going to the EFB and doing it from there. But okay, disarm all doors. Here we go. So let's go ahead and open up. So let's see, does GSX recognize us? Yes. Okay, request deboarding, handling by FedEx, and that is it, my friends. So here we are, we made it all the way out. I do hope that you enjoyed this flight. Now, personally, I absolutely did. It's been a great time flying that FedEx plane once again, and flying the A300 once again. Just looks like we need to remove our custom stairs up here. So let's do that real quick. So left stairs removed, thank you. Okay, that is absolutely looking better. So, I did certainly enjoy this flight, and if you did as well, then do let me know in the comments below. Certainly a great update from iniBuilds, a lot of stuff down there in the changelog that I can certainly recommend you to have a look at. You can update the airplane through the ini manager, and from here on, I would say enjoy flying your brand new and shiny updated Airbus A300. Thank you very much for watching, everyone. I do hope you liked the video. If you did, then do let me know in the comments below. Be sure to hit that like button, as it does really help out the channel. And finally, if you are up for more, don't forget to subscribe. Now, if you really love what I'm doing, I would appreciate a small donation through the Buy Me Coffee link in the video description below. But until then, I'd just like to say thank you very much for watching, and see you all again on the next one.